Simone, if you met someone and they were still living with their ex, would you be okay with that?
Y'all, welcome, 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 world. This is the Seymone and Tasha show. I am Seymone,
And I'm Tasha.
and we're gonna have some fun with this one, y'all. Talking about exes and can they live with you? Where they do that at, Tasha?
Well, I mean, it's a real thing these days.
So what's going on like with the exes these days? I mean, I know people said the economy is bad, and maybe sometimes people break up
Right.
and the person can't afford to move out on their own, so they have to live with you. But where are the boundaries in that situation? Where do you draw the line?
That's a good question. I mean, that is some people's situation. And I feel like if that's their situation, hopefully, a conversation has been had, and the boundaries have been laid out on, what it is and what it's not. Because that could definitely be a sticky situation for sure.
But I wonder, okay, so what could a couple put in place if this is their situation? And also, we're talking about some other situation concerning exes. But first, let's address this one since that's the first one we came up on.
Yeah.
Where you and your ex broke up. For some reason, they cannot move out. So maybe they're in one room and you're in the other room.
Okay.
How do you navigate that situation? How can you see other people, or do you have to wait till they move out? What do you think people do, Tasha?
Well, I mean, it's probably a little bit of both going on, to be honest with you. But that's why I said a conversation needs to be had because we are adults. And so, with that being said, I do feel like when they have the conversation, that's when they lay out the boundaries on, if you're going to have company, all the things I guess you would talk about with a roommate.
Because one of our friends that we were talking to, she was in that situation. Her and her ex were living in the same house, and she could hear her ex talking on the phone just out in the open with someone else.
Okay.
Now, is that disrespectful, or should that be allowed? Because we're not together. I can just talk to who I want to.
Well, and again, that goes back to, we're all adults and you got to have that conversation. So, was that a part of the conversation? I mean, people are human. You can't, stop anybody from talking to anybody on the phone. But was that a part of their talk track when they, said, this is the boundaries we're going to have because we are now roommates and what, exes. So we have to move different.
But I think even when you break up with someone, okay, we're saying you're living in the same house. We're going to give you that grace that maybe you couldn't get out there, you couldn't get your own place for whatever reason. So we're going to give you that grace. You can't get your own place, so you're living with your ex. So it's like both of you, in order to make that situation work, it's like you got to sit down and say, okay, what? We're not going to have conversations with other people in front of each other, Or maybe I don't want to hear about anyone that you've met or dating. We're not friends like that.
Right.
That's what people have to understand, because you think you're friends like that, but your feelings are going to be hurt when your ex is trying to introduce you to somebody or.
Absolutely. So, in my opinion, I feel like if you guys have to be roommates for whatever the, reason is, bringing like other people over to the house, I think that's a bit much. Especially if this is like a fresh relationship that's just like y'all didn't make it for whatever reason. I don't know. I think that's a lot to
even talking on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot to expect, the other person not to feel some type of way or be in their feelings, whether it be if they're on the phone or decide to have company or something. I think that's a lot.
And also, you think about that's your ex.
Right.
Say if they left you, then either you're upset about it, or either in your mind you feel, okay, we're still living in the same house.
Right.
Maybe I'm going to get them back. You think that's something that's going on too?
Yeah, all those scenarios. But the bottom line is you have to have respect for one another.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
respect.
Yeah, we have to be grown ups, and you have to respect one another, because you guys didn't make it and it happens. But at the same time, if you're not respectful, it can definitely go in a different direction and get kind of ugly.
So you really have to lay down some rules. Like if
Yeah.
y'all say, okay, we're breaking up, but can I please stay here? Then the two you have to be adult enough to say, okay, yes, you can stay here, but I don't want you to be doing this in front of me, or I don't want you, neither one of us should be bringing somebody home, because that's going to be like a sign of disrespect. Like, you're going to
Right.
feel disrespected.
Absolutely. Because, like Simone said, you guys are exes. So to bring company over on either one of the individuals' parts, that's a lot to take on.
Yeah.
And, that's just a lot.
Tasha, I know some people are sitting out there. You got some women sitting out there going, no, it's okay. We're exes and we agreed that we could live in the same place and we could talk to other people and we could bring people home. Now, you might be saying that, but
Right.
the other person probably sitting there getting their feelings hurt about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't know. I just feel like it could be very sticky. I mean, some people
tricky
really, take on that for whatever reason. They have to be roommates. And yeah, it's just a tricky situation to navigate. But I say set really hard boundaries. Because when you're dealing with exes, it's just the feelings are still there, people.
Yeah.
Like Simone said, they say they're okay, or you can see this person. The feelings are still there. So to bring an individual to the house, I think that's just asking a lot of that other individual to be okay with it, and we all hang out like we besties. Nah,
I would say nobody's really okay, y'all. Come on now.
no,
Especially women. Women are sensitive.
absolutely.
Women are sensitive. They might try to act tough. They might try to act like they could take whatever you can dish out. But women are sensitive to the core. At the core, they're sensitive. And so if you're living in the house with an ex, just think about that. Even though you think she's tough, come on, be respectful, y'all. Be respectful and try to respect her feelings. Don't just accept phone calls and you sitting there on the couch. He and
Right.
he and with your new interest and all that kind of stuff, making plans, and she's in the kitchen and she could overhear all of it.
Right.
That's being very insensitive.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Because if you were in a relationship with someone and you had feelings for them and you loved them at one point, and for some reason y'all got to live in the same house, respect each other. Come on,
Right.
and be aware of each other's feelings.
Right. Because the feelings don't go away overnight.
Right.
That's not how that works, people. Not if you really loved and care for that person. The feelings don't go away overnight.
Tasha, what about the other situation? What about the other situation where you have an ex who you feel, oh, this is my bestie. This is my best friend. We've known each other so long, and any woman to come into my life is just going to have to deal with it and understand that this is my ex. What about situations like that? Do you need boundaries there, or is that just your friend?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, when you have people that are friends with their exes, that's fine. But at the same time, there still need to be boundaries. Because if not, people do the most. But you definitely have to put those boundaries in place. So for whatever reason, your new partner, your partner at the time, don't feel some type of way like y'all hooking up on the side or y'all having, intimate conversations when they're not around, things of that nature.
Right.
So I feel like if you have proper boundaries set, then your new partner won't feel some type of way. They're like, okay, yeah, they used to date, but, and they're friends and, it's all good.
But then, Tasha, what if you get a phone call from that person? You're saying that person is your ex.
Okay.
But they're your bestie.
Okay.
You get a phone call from them and your new girl is there. Now, how do you handle that? Do you excuse yourself and take the phone call in another room? Do you put the phone on speaker so everybody can hear the conversation? What do you think is appropriate in that situation?
So, like I said, the conversation, I'm assuming, has been had between the two individuals that's dating. With that being said, then, I mean, why we got to go in another room?
Right.
I mean, I should, be able to talk to that individual right in front of, I mean, that's my bestie. So I should be able to talk in front of my, new partner. I don't see the issue with that.
And the bottom line is some people are friends with their exes. Some women might have had children with an ex.
Right.
So then that's another thing that's, thrown into the situation.
Right.
The fact that you have a child with an ex. And so now you feel like the ex has the right to come over of course, to come pick up the child, to spend time with the child, to call.
Mm-hmm.
But should there still be rules in place for that, or do you feel that it's going to be a problem addressing that with a partner?
I mean, I feel like boundaries should be in place, regardless. Whether you're in a relationship or you're not, with the ex, or you friends with the ex, like still should have boundaries, especially if you have a partner, and you're friends with the ex, or that's your bestie. Like, stuff like, call at a decent time. You know what I mean? Call before you come. Don't just kind of like show up. Yeah. So I mean, there's a couple different things that need to go on when you dealing with an ex and it's the bestie. You definitely got to have that conversation with your new partner or your partner, like, hey, this is that, this is, and just kind of make sure everybody's on the same page.
But now, what if you think they're cheating? What if you feel like, okay, you're saying y'all are best friends and y'all are ex,
Right.
but y'all are going off here together, y'all are having like secret conversations. Then that's gonna put my antennas up. That's gonna make me feel like,
oh yeah,
what's really going on?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, when you start doing like unusual behavior and your behavior patterns start changing, then of course the antennas go up. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, okay. This is your bestie, is the ex. Okay, fine, but we should be able to be open and honest and talk to the bestie in front of the partner. But if we going off in secret locations or having secret conversations, or just being secret about different things, is like, why? The antennas are definitely going to go up. Like, it's no need for that.
Yeah. So it's like, can exes really be friends?
I think so. But you have to be adults, and everybody have to be on the same page, and the boundaries need to be there. Now, don't get me wrong. You do have some people out here that's call themselves exes, and they doing the most. So all exes ain't created equal, but
and the thing is, and what I was thinking about was that the thing is, you might have an ex from years ago, or you might have a recent ex. But trust me, y'all, it doesn't matter if they're from years ago or a recent ex. Doesn't mean that something can't happen.
This is true, but it's all down to that individual. If that individual has a partner, then it's that individual's responsibility to make, that ex aware, even if they're not besties and, they're friends, to make them aware, like, hey, I'm in a new relationship, or I'm dating this person, this, that, and the third. So, again, that go back to boundaries and letting the person know, what's going on, especially because you don't want your new person to feel some type of way, especially if this is your ex, because they don't know your ex.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're just looking at a standpoint like, that's your ex. Like, what's really good?
Mm-hmm.
So you definitely have to make sure that, everybody's on the same page, and you explain, what's going on. And I mean, to me, if you're friends with the ex and y'all besties, then they should be able to meet your partner. You know what I mean? I ain't say y'all got to hang out and, frolic around and, but I'm just saying, like, it should be, understanding there, like, hey, this is my new person, this is my bestie, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah. And then, you have the situation with where you keep attracting somebody who is best friends with their exes. Why you keep attracting a person that's best friends with their exes? Now you have to look at what you're putting out, or you have to look, like me and Tasha spoke already about that familiarity and chemistry.
Right.
You meet somebody, they seem like y'all vibing, like y'all got all the chemistry, everything seems lovely. You got to check it and make sure, check the whole situation out.
Right.
Does this person have an ex that they spend a lot of time with, like my last partner? If that's a situation that you keep running into and you're not comfortable with, then you really have to evaluate, why are you attracting these situations? You probably know up front, but you still jump 2 feet in flat on the ground into the situation. If you can't deal with somebody's exes, then stop attracting that situation. But when you see that situation coming, what should you do, Tasha?
You have to, analyze every situation for what it is.
It's an issue.
I mean, just because you went through that before, whatever it was, that situation, doesn't mean that, since this is a similar situation as far as the dynamics, mean it's going to be exactly the same, Seymone.
It might not be exactly the same, but if you know you don't want to deal with exes, you had a bad,
But everybody has exes. So
No, but say for example, you have an ex and y'all are sharing something in common that causes you to have to continuously be in communication. If you don't feel like dealing with that, then find out about that in the beginning and make your decision.
but what would they be sharing?
Like if y'all have a child together.
Okay. Duh. I had a blind moment, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they have a child together, then you know the person has to be in the picture. And if you're like the person coming later on down the road and trying to set boundaries and rules, it might not work if these two have already established their patterns and this is how they do it.
That's true, but at the same time, Seymone, like, why you wouldn't have boundaries though? Like, you know what I
Everybody
mean?
doesn't.
Like,
Everybody doesn't. You might have boundaries and you might know there should be boundaries there, but the person that you have just met that you are trying to make a decision about as far as should I have a relationship with this person, if you see they don't have those boundaries, don't think you're going to come in and change things overnight. That's all I'm saying.
well, and I agree that you may not be able to change them overnight, but I do feel like you should be able to go to your partner and say, X, Y, and Z, and this make me feel some type of way about you being, besties with the ex, Again, that goes back to boundaries. But if you have a conversation with that individual and they're just kind of like blowing you off, or they got, I
They don't
guess a
respect.
rebuttal
Yeah.
or an answer for everything, then I don't know. You just have to really like do a deep dive and see,
'Cause from what you're
that
saying,
really
it's
is.
like you're trying to have a conversation with them. You're trying to lay out, some boundaries, trying to understand what's going on in the situation with the ex, but they don't respect what you're saying. They don't really understand where you're coming from. So then you feel like, this person is
like disrespectful,
right, or acknowledging my feelings.
right?
And they're being disrespectful, and they're just doing whatever they want to with their ex, and I don't really have a say because I'm the new person coming into the situation.
Yeah, that's definitely a interesting dynamic. But if you have a conversation with the person you're dating or in a relationship with about this whole scenario with the ex, and like you guys don't have a conversation, or you don't feel like your feelings were seen or heard or validated, then that could potentially, be an issue.
That would definitely be an issue.
Definitely be an issue. So I mean, you just have to really have that hard conversation with the individual and explain to them, how you feel, what's making you feel, this particular way, how you're seeing things from your lens, and maybe that individual could possibly shed some light on, why things are the way it is, or, something like that.
But Tasha, I had an ex who was like, didn't have boundaries.
Okay.
So because we were together for a while and because we started out as friends, then that carried over that after we broke up, we were still friends.
Okay.
But she didn't have boundaries. So when I had somebody new, she was still trying to be all in the picture. And it was very awkward.
Okay.
Like still, invited to things, but maybe she shouldn't have been, but it was awkward. And, if somebody had pulled me to the side and said, I don't really appreciate this, that's your ex, she all up in everything.
Right.
What's going on here? Then I would have listened, and we didn't have any children or nothing together. It was like,
right. But then you're saying that individual that you were with never really said anything about the boundaries of the.
Right. Because I think because I made them feel comfortable. But if you're with someone and you don't feel comfortable and they're not listening to you, that's when it's going to be hard. And that's when you got to make a decision.
Right.
And if you think something is off, y'all, if you think something is off and you think the person is doing more with their ex than they're saying, then I think bottom line, trust your intuition.
Yeah, you got to listen to that gut, you guys. 9 times out of 10, that gut is right. Because, when you don't listen to it, the repercussions sometimes.
Yes, y'all. And so we're going to transition from this, and the next show that we have, the next episode, we're going to tell you how to recognize the signs of a cheater. We ain't saying okay, y'all. We're not saying that the person you're with and their ex, we're not saying that they're cheating, but we're going to help you recognize the signs of cheating. Okay. just as a topic That's the next thing, y'all. So stay tuned. Come back next week, and we're gonna have that topic right there.
Sounds good.
Signs of cheating, y'all. All right, guys. Continue to rock with us. Continue to follow us. Tasha has an ebook out. I have an ebook out also, and I have an audio out talking about relationships. So make sure you join the community that we set up. Women, we rock with y'all. That's the name of it, and we want to rock with you who rock with us. So
make sure you guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Yes.
To the podcast. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Tell a friend to tell a friend, y'all.
Make sure you guys are keeping up with your health as always.
Yes.
Make sure you guys are taking your liquid multivitamin 10 salad.
Wait, Nutriburst.
Yep. Oh, okay. I had it upside down. Nutriburst. 10 salads and 1 capful, guys. Amazing. Amazing. Also, keep that gut cleaned out. You should be using the restroom every time you eat. But do your daily cleanse, you guys. It's the watermelon flavor. It's going to clean that gut out.
Where can they get these items? Like, hey, where can I get this tea, Tasha?
The link will be in the bio up under the podcast title.
Yes. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. That's all in the description.
Yes.
And Tasha, follow us, y'all, because we're on all the platforms, and sometimes you can meet us there live and everything. So, but hey, join the community, and we're in there live at least once a week.
Yes.
Teaching and vibing with y'all.
Yep, that's it.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time.
See you guys.
Bye.